published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 27, 2023. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero. Councilman Ambrosino.
Here.
Councilman Minikino.
Here.
Councilwoman Travers.
Here.
Vice President Zapsik. Here. President DeYoung.
Here.
Thank you.
Can I please have everybody rise for the flag salute and then followed by a moment of silence?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Madam Clerk, please accept the reports from the municipal officers. Thank you very much. Now we are moving on to approve the minutes from the June 13th, 2023 meeting. Can I have a motion and a second?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Abstain.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are now going to do a presentation to recognize Dystonia Awareness Month, June 2023. I'd like to ask Councilwoman Travers to come down, and Marguerite, would you like to come on up?
Dystonia Awareness Month is designed to help raise public awareness, understanding, and support for the disorder of dystonia, a neurological movement disorder similar to Parkinson's disease. Dystonia affects approximately 1% of the population, one-third of which are children, and recently, more and more veterans are being diagnosed with this disease. Dystonia has an array of symptoms such as painful, prolonged muscle contractions, which are involuntary, abnormal, and often repetitive movements. These symptoms can significantly interfere with a person's daily life by impeding those affected with the ability to perform simple daily tasks, such as the ability to walk, speak, get dressed, or control the posture of their head. And dystonia has limited treatments and currently has no cure and is often misdiagnosed, delaying access to the appropriate medical care and inspiring sufferers to live by the slogan, never, never give up. And Dystonia Awareness Month will help provide a better understanding and compassion for those affected, which one or more of the various forms of dystonia and the impact the disorder has on those individuals and their families. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick, County on Ocean, and State of New Jersey as follows. We lend our support to the individuals and families affected by dystonia, and we call on all residents to learn more about dystonia and ways to provide support to all those affected. Invite you to say a few words. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Marguerite, and this is my husband Gary. I have dystonia. It's a neurological movement disorder that causes muscle spasms or contractions, in my case resulting in an abnormal posture and gait. There are about 500,000 of us here in North America who have it. It's the third most common movement disorder following essential tremor and Parkinson's. There are more people with dystonia than folks with Huntington's, muscular dystrophy, and Lou Gehrig's disease combined. It is under-recognized and under-diagnosed by the medical community. Not many people are aware that dystonia even exists. Most folks have never even heard of it. It's not a celebrity disease, but Big Bird had it. Yes, Carol Spinney, puppet master, the man inside Big Bird had dystonia. He died in 2019 from complications due to dystonia. Keith Emerson, keyboardist from the 70s rock band Emerson, Lake and Palmer, had musician's dystonia in his hands. He suffered from depression and anxiety caused by dystonia and ended his own life in 2016. JFK Jr. has had dysphonia, which is dystonia of the voice box. And of course, we all know a man who's still suffering, poster child for Parkinson's disease, Marty McFly, aka Michael J. Fox. He has dystonia, as do more than 30% of folks with Parkinson's. The Michael J. Fox Foundation is well known for its focus on Parkinson's. This foundation has combined efforts with Bachman Strauss Dystonia Foundation to conduct research in the field of dystonia. The beginning of my story is much the same as many folks with dystonia. I was undiagnosed and misdiagnosed for years. Went to chiropractors and acupuncturists, orthopedists, and was told you're out of alignment, you need an adjustment, your chi's out of sync, you have herniated discs, stenosis, arthritis, but the x-rays, MRIs, and CT scans don't show that the patient has dystonia. I tried meds, a cortisone block, back patches, and rounds of physical therapy with doctors who mark me now and again, why are you walking like that? Well, I was hoping you could tell me. After many years, I was referred to a neurologist, my physical therapist suggestion, mind you, and I was finally diagnosed with dystonia. However, my paperwork still stated psychogenic, so my relief was accompanied by a familiar feeling that this was all in my head. After trying many medications, all with side effects, I was finally referred to another neurologist, a dystonia specialist, and tried more drugs, Botox, sonograms. Finally, in 2016, after 2 years in a wheelchair, I was considered a candidate for a type of brain surgery called deep brain stimulation, or DBS. By this point, we were ready and said, sign us up. We were hoping for some kind of relief and improvement in my mobility for truncal dystonia, which presented like this. And I had to drag my body around. It felt like I was always pushing that bad shopping cart down the aisles of the grocery store, frustrating and tiring. I have truncal dystonia, but essentially dystonia can affect any part of the body, and it can affect one or more parts of the body. I feel mine mostly in my lower back and my left hand, and I drag my left leg. To undergo deep brain stimulation, after various pre-testing, my head was shaved, and the first hole was drilled about the size of a dime in March of 2016 to implant the first electrode. A month later, the second hole was drilled to implant the second electrode. 2 weeks later, the packets were made, batteries were inserted here and here under my collarbone, and the wires were pulled down under my scalp and connected. They lasted 3 years. Then in 2019, I got new rechargeable batteries, and these are good for 10 to 12 years, but I have to charge them. So every other day I charge up. It takes about an hour on each side. What deep brain stimulation does is it interrupts the excessive electrical impulses in the brain. But DBS is not for everyone, and it's not successful for everyone. Even after brain surgery, I still experience symptoms, albeit less severe. I still have dystonia, and I have my good days and bad days. I have difficulty writing, and my handwriting is tiny and sloppy, and I make frequent errors while typing on the keyboard. My speech is affected. Sometimes I slur, clench my teeth, speak too softly, struggle to find words. My rate of speech is way too fast, or I run out of breath, or a mixture of any or all of these. I have trouble with balance and walking any distance. My back hyperextends and I twist and lean to the right. Sensory tricks like walking with my fist in the small of my back helps temporarily, or I'll also stop and reboot, correct my posture, and that works temporarily. Sometimes I feel twitching and pulling, especially in my face, or I shake or quiver. Not tonight, this is just nerves. And frequently I get foot and leg cramps, and it's all so tiring. Stress makes it worse. Recently, when I was dealing with some extra stress in my life, my role at work was changed because I was not performing my job effectively. The good news is that dystonia is generally not life-threatening, but it is life-altering. Everyone has their own story. This is mine. Sharing it is one small way that I can bring awareness to this little-known disorder in hopes for better care and a cure. For more information, you can contact the Dystonia Medical Research Foundation. Thanks for listening, and as folks in the dystonia community say, never, never give up. Thanks for listening.
Very good. Thank you, Marguerite. Wait.
Sorry.
We will now move on to our consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Very good. Resolution 4-1.
Recognize Dystonia Awareness Month, June 2023.
Councilwoman Travers.
Thank you. This resolution recognizes Dystonia Awareness Month to help raise public awareness, understanding, and support of the disorder of dystonia, a neurological movement disorder similar to Parkinson's disease. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-2.
Authorize grant agreement with Division of Local Government Services, LED Grant Assistance Program.
Councilman Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the insertion of a grant in the amount of $50,400 from the Division of Local Government Services for the implementation of LED Grant Assistance Program. The state recently enacted requirements for testing for certain lead-based paint hazards in specified single-family, two-family, and multi-rental dwellings. The township is required to perform these tests, and these funds are intended to offset the cost of necessary testings, materials, and staff training. Thank you.
4-3.
Authorize receipt of bids, ambulance repairs.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes receipt of bids for ambulance repairs for items that are no longer under warranty. Specifically, for the repairs of the modular body, its life support system and components, as well as any mechanical repairs where modifications have been made during construction of the modular body to accommodate its life support system and components. The township had an approximate expenditure of $51,000 during the current 2-year contract period, which will expire on September 10th of 2023 with PL Custom Body and Equipment of Manasquan. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-4.
Authorize receipt of bids, computer and printer supplies.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for computer and printer supplies. The current contract is for 1 year and is due to expire on September 14th, 2023. To date, we have spent approximately $29,000 to maintain the township's computer systems, printers, fax machines, etc. under this contract.
Thank you. 4-5.
Authorize receipt of bids, purchase and delivery of liquid de-icing agent.
Council Vice President Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for the purchase and delivery of liquid de-icing agent. This contract is used to supply and deliver a liquid melting agent solution to be used on township roads as needed in icy weather conditions. The township had an approximate expenditure of $11,000 during the current 2-year contract period, which will expire on September 26, 2023, with Reed System Limited in Ellenville. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-6.
Authorize receipt of proposals, professional medical services.
Councilwoman Travers.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of proposals for professional medical services. This RFP is to provide pre-employment physicals, fit-for-duty testing, and drug and alcohol testing for new and existing employees at the provider's facility and at designated township sites. To date, we have spent approximately $52,000 under the contract using 4 vendors. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-7.
Authorize award of contract roadway improvements to Seaview Village.
Councilman Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes an award of contract in the amount of $536,813.13 to Earl Asphalt Company, Farmingdale, for road improvements to Seaview Village Road. Roads scheduled to be milled, overlaid, and the contract are Mariner Avenue, Seaview Avenue. Bid notices were provided to our bidders list, and 6 bids were received, ranging from $740,300 to the lowest responsible bid for $536,813 as provided by Earl Asphalt. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-8.
Authorize award of contract collision repairs and vehicle painting.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes an award of contract with Mako Collision and Auto Painting for collision repairs and vehicle painting. This is an open-ended contract not to exceed $35,000 per year. Bid notices were provided to 20 prospective bidders, and 3 picked up bid packages. 1 bid was received.
Thank you. 4-9.
Authorize purchase through Cranford Police Cooperative Pricing System 5 Ford Police Interceptor vehicles.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the award of contract in the amount of $209,605 to Gentilini Motors of Egg Harbor Township for the purchase and delivery of 5 2023 Ford Police Interceptor vehicles. This purchase is being made through the Cranford Police Cooperative Pricing System. Thank you.
Thank you. 410.
Authorize memorandum of understanding law enforcement assisted diversion lead program.
Council Vice President Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes a memorandum of understanding for the Brick Police Department's participation in the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program. This program is aimed at providing resources and assistance to people with mental illness, drug involvement, chronic homelessness, and poverty as a more appropriate response than processing them through the criminal justice system. Brick Township was selected as a participant in the pilot program and will work with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office and the state. Thank you.
Thank you. 411.
Authorize lease agreement for Civic Plaza Oscar's Pizza.
Councilman Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a lease agreement with Oscar's Pizza, a tenant at Civic Plaza. The terms of the lease is 5 years and it will increase 3% per year. Thank you.
Thank you. 412.
12A, tax overpayments for 2019, 2020, 2021, and 22 at Block 1170, Lot 28.
Thank you. Can I have a motion and a second on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Close council. Open to public on these resolutions only. Yes.
Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive. Sorry for my rambling. I have a metal gum thing here, so. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me okay now? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Question about number 10. The Law Enforcement Assisted Division, what's wrong? Can you hear me okay? No?
Oh, I can.
There you go. Hear it now. Okay. All right, you can hear me okay now, right? All right, hear a little echo. Number 10. I'm a little confused by this. The Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program, does that mean that Brick Township Police are going to be participating in, what's the word I'm looking for, teaching other police departments about that, or, you know what I mean? The way, Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program, that has to do with the police's handling of people who suffer from mental disabilities or problems or alcoholism, correct? So far, that's why I understood. Now, does this mean that the police department has been recognized as being someone who's going to be teaching other departments, or is this for all the departments to be taught in that?
Can I answer? Okay.
Definitely.
So this is actually a program through the New Jersey State Office of the Attorney General. They applied for this grant, and I believe the total award is about $5 million. It's a multi-year grant, and Brick Township was one of 5 communities. It's a pilot program, 5 communities throughout the state that were selected to participate. So in cooperation with the prosecutor's office, Bright Harbor Healthcare, which is a mental health agency, Hope Sheds Light, the Ocean County Health Department, the Ocean County Department of Human Services, Preferred Behavioral Health Group, RWJ Barnabas Health, and Hackensack Meridian Hospital. They collaboratively work to assist people rather than put them in the criminal justice system.
So that's like, this is like a training program, in other words, right? To affiliate, to instruct police on how to deal with the public. Has these, or
It's giving resources to help these people,
okay.
and that's it. No training, it's just a memorandum of understanding to use these resources.
Okay, because I'm a little bit confused about why you need this because what I understand is the police departments already are under some kind of guidelines already under not only law like civil rights law, but also years ago when Joe Coronado was the county prosecutor, he did have the, I forgot what it's called now, the...
Blue Heart.
That's what, yeah, I know it was blue something, I couldn't remember exactly. So when people could come here and they could ask for help with their drug problems without being, arrested, prosecuted, and things like that. So this is just, again, I'm maybe it's just me, but I'm having a problem understanding this. It's not instructing the police, it's just that if the police do in those departments come in contact with someone that does suffer from the drug or mental health issues, then they can get help through that grouping. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what. Prior to this, what was the policy of? Didn't the police have a policy already in place?
Well, this program brings together service providers.
I understand that, but I'm saying is prior to this, didn't the police department have policies in place already to deal with
They
people?
would follow the law and put them through the criminal justice system if there was an arrest made. This is a diversion program, so now an arrest is made, or rather than making an arrest and putting the person in the criminal justice system, they will work with these providers.
Okay, I think I got you now. Yeah, because
resources.
in New York City, they do have a lot of problems like this, and they have an intervention program whereby the police do, if they encounter someone, during a call, and that they have they have outreach programs, and they have a civil community, but New York's a big city, so it's not comparable to Brick, I guess. All right, that explains my question. I was a little bit uncertain about what it actually was entailing, because, I know all police departments, I know Township has policies in place already. Some departments enforce it better than others, but you know better than me.
Yes, sir.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. You may tell me to sit down and get this at the end, but the resolution pertaining to that SALT workaround on the resolutions that we wrote the letter from, and they changed the law after we were supposedly writing the letter.
That's in
Did we do
public
that?
comments, sir.
What?
That's in public comments.
That is, okay.
Yes. Anybody else? Seeing none, close public roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to bill resolution, computer 2023.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $12,387,165.57.
May I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council, close council, open to public for questions on the computer bill resolution only. Close public roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Abstain Teamsters and yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to bill resolution manual 2023.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,946,156.68.
May I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council, close council, open to public on manual bill resolution. Close public roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes. We are moving on to ordinance on first reading. There is no public hearing on the first reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of township land known as Block 842, lots 14, 1401, and 15, located at 1707 Route 88.
Councilman Menachino.
Thank you. The Township's Council Land Use Committee is recommending this ordinance, which conveys Block 842, Lot 14. It's approximately a half an acre of irregular shape at 1707 Route 88 West to Homes Now Inc., to develop an 8-unit apartment project for affordable housing for veterans. This will be a rental property and requires income qualified residents and would be managed by Homes Now, Inc. The apartments are proposed to be 1- and 2-bedroom units. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Close council. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are now moving on to public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Very good. Yes.
Sam Foster, 100 Chico Drive. You can hear me okay now, right? Okay, guys, when I stood up before, I was apologizing because I got gum in the metal case, so it's rattling when I walk. So that's not me. That's not, I'm old, but not that old to need metal parts in my body. Quick question about the, we have elections coming up this year, and I know that we had problems in the past with the ballot box. Something about, I attended the freehold meetings, and I'm in commission meetings, so I apologize if I'm getting this incorrect, but you can correct me if I'm wrong here. There's a problem with the feed of the ballot boxes outside the municipal building, so they moved it from there to the library. Now, the way up, and again, I'm trying to recall this from memory. I don't have notes, so I apologize. I just happened to come here, on the spur of the moment. The way I understand it was that the people that are in charge of the video feed monitoring the ballot boxes, is that the Township of Brick or is it the county sheriff?
Those were county ballot boxes, and the county asked us to put them here, and we met their requirements, and then opted to move them over to the county library after the last election.
Yeah. Now, the question is that the question I have is that who is in charge of ensuring that the feed is working properly and everything?
The County of Ocean.
Okay, Sheriff's Department. I remember this in the election when Sheriff Mastronardi ran for the county. Whatever. I'm getting distracted here, so I'm just going to stay on point now. Now, does Brick Township have any kind of say, since it's in the Township of Brick, technically the Sheriff's Department is in charge of monitoring to make sure that everything is, being monitored properly. There's no video technical malfunctions or anything like that, like they had with the issue there outside the municipal building. Does Brick Township have any responsibility legally to ensure? Is that all Sheriff's Department 100%?
I didn't say Sheriff's Department, but I did say County of Ocean, so my answer stands. It's the County
So
of
that's
Ocean.
it. 100%
The elections
there.
in the county are run by through the county clerk's office and through the Board of Elections. They have oversight. It's not the sheriff's office that runs it. It's the Board of Elections and the
Okay, because I remember
county
that.
clerk.
Yeah, I remember that Sheriff Mastronardi was criticized when he ran for Ocean County GP chairman about that issue. But I was a little bit. I don't have my notes. So I'm not trying to. If I'm wrong, correct me. I have no problem with that. Okay, that's it. That's the only question I had about the upcoming election. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to try to read my letter from June 20th. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Dear Mayor Crate, Council President, Head of DeYoung, all the council people, the administration, residents, and workers of Brick and Ocean County. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners destroyed the environment near and on Garden State Parkway. The citizens of Brick and Ocean County continue to be harmed by the toxins, the noise, and various dangers surrounding the Garden State Parkway. A series of walls and increased foliage are needed on the Garden State Parkway around Evergreen Woods condo area, Brick High School, Primrose Garden, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill School, Greenbrier, Town Hall, Birchwood Park, and there's probably other areas as well. Let me use some of the articles from the Journal of American Heart Association in those journals. Over the last few years, some studies by the Environmental Protection Agency as well. And maybe you haven't had time to read them, or maybe you didn't see them, but the NJTA commissioners don't care to know about them for sure. Air pollution from motor vehicles can cause a range of health problems. These include worsening of asthma and increased risk of infection due to nitrogen oxide, asthma attacks, respiratory and cardiovascular harm, and even early death due to particulate matter. Aggravated asthma, reduced lung capacity, and increased susceptibility to respiratory illness as well. Onset of childhood asthma, impaired lung function, premature deaths, and swelling and constricting of the airways make breathing difficult. From the journal, they state more than 45 million people in the U.S. are living or working or attending school within 300 feet of the major roadways. Air pollution from cars and trucks are found in higher concentrations near major roadways, and people near them have increased incidence of severity of heart problems such as asthma, health problems such as asthma, onset and aggravation, cardiovascular disease, impaired lung development in children, preterm and low birth weight infants, childhood leukemia, and premature deaths. Findings indicate that they can be 500 to 600 feet downwind. So it's 300 feet normally, but if it's downwind, which basically is 1/3 of brick, from these highly traveled roadways, and in brick that could easily be Greenbrier, Brick High, and Lanes Mill, just to name a few. A study in Denmark had 22,000 female nurses evaluated exposure over 15 years to road traffic air pollution and noise pollution and how it impacted heart failure. Exposure to small particulate matter and road traffic noise over a 3-year period was associated with increased risk of heart failure. The risk among women was greater than that than of men, and they had high blood pressure, and the former smokers were even at higher risk, even if they had stopped. We need to help the children of Brick and Ocean County avoid asthma, help the expectant moms not have autistic children, help the workers and residents of Brick not develop COPD, and help us seniors not suffer and die prematurely. For years, there's been articles from here in America and around the world to tell us about the pollution that's killing us all. All doctors and nurses should be able to tell you about the impact on you, your parents, your children, and the babies soon to be born. People need you to read, learn, and act, including the people of Evergreen Woods, Brick High School, Greenbrier, Briar Mill, Lanes Middle School, Birchwood, Town Hall, and in fact all of us, because we're all suffering quietly because you do not see the air pollution. Not like we had a few weeks ago. I have a minute left. I'm going to just restate the part of the question. That salt wrap, workaround that we had last month, we were writing a letter. They changed the law because they got enough flack to say that instead of being $10,000 a person, the max would be $6,500, and also there's now a limit on the amount, and you also added renters into it. We wrote a letter, or said we were going to write a letter last time. Did we say that we're more inclined to like this setup than the one before, even though it's still mainly for the rich? A lot of the poor people in Brick, or the lower income people in Brick, don't really benefit from it, from the Anchor program, or very little anyhow, because they're going to get $1,500 back under Anchor. They're only going to get $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 back on this, where somebody who wasn't collecting it before is getting $6,500. It would have been nice if they just made everybody $3,000 or whatever the number happens to be. This way the poor people would have got more of a benefit out of it, as opposed to the people who have lots of money. Thank you for your time. I yield back 2 seconds.
Anybody else? Yes.
Good evening, Mark Vasquez, 440 Lotta Court. Couple questions, and I don't know who to direct it to, if it should be the president or not, but is this LEAD program going to be officially instated in Brick Township? If so, when?
I'm not sure what the timeline is, but yes.
Okay.
And it's a pilot program, so it'll be for the duration of the grant.
Okay. And then in terms of, have you guys done your own study on the LEAD program as council? I mean, if you're approving this, is this something that you've done some homework on?
It was
Council?
It was discussed in public safety. We all got the notes, and the chief recommended it.
Okay. So just so that you're aware, this was designed in Washington, Seattle, Washington in 2011. This program that reduces crime overall is not really a great program in my opinion. And I just want you to be aware that if you go to Seattle today, I just went there for a business trip not too long ago, you're going to find that crime is down, but you're going to find drug addicts using drugs on the buses, fecal matter everywhere in your town. People are not really treated even though they're going through the LEAD program. And so my concern here in Brick Township is, yes, this would be great, if we can keep this going. Who's paying for it after the pilot is done? It's expensive to keep social programs like this open and going, but does it really fix the problem? And in Seattle, the founders of this program will tell you, yeah, it fixed crime. But the reality of it didn't actually fix anything. It creates a bigger issue where you have homeless people in the subways, on the buses, in the streets, at the side of businesses, dealing, selling, using drugs after they've left programs. So I would highly recommend that this township really, really consider whether or not this program is really useful, or it's just because there's free money coming down from the pipeline. I am not in favor for it. I do not think this is for Brick. I think we really need to look at the issues and deal with those issues appropriately. If someone does have a mental issue, yes, there should be help for them, and we should guide them there. But creating programs which would divert from prosecution and offer opportunities for housing, social services, drug counseling, which is great, but does that really fix the issue? And from what I saw in Seattle, it does not. And so my concern is that if we allow this to happen in Brick, where will we be in the next 10 years? And so that's my only concern. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Seeing none, close public. Mrs. Bergen.
No comments for me, thank you.
Mr. Starkey.
No, none from you. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Nothing, thank you.
Mrs. Murphy. Councilman Albany.
Happy 4th of July. That's it.
Councilman Ambrosino.
I too would like to wish everybody in town a very safe and happy 4th of July weekend that we have coming up. And I'd also like to remind everybody that following this 4th of July weekend, we will have our very first of the year Summerfest next Thursday on July 6th at Windward Beach.
Councilman Menachino.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilwoman Travers.
I just wanted to thank Marguerite Weiss again for coming up and sharing her story and her knowledge on dystonia. And again, 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Thank you. Council Vice President Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. I want to make an announcement tonight on behalf of the Garden Club. We have the Secret Gardens of Brick Tour and Tea coming up on July 11th. It starts at 10 a.m. You can tour 7 gardens of Brick homeowners and then return to the Bob Anstett Cultural Arts Center for refreshments. The Garden Club is an all-volunteer organization in Brick. This is their major fundraiser every year, and all of the money that they collect through this fundraiser goes right back into beautifying Brick at the Cultural Arts Center, the plantings you see around town, all of that. None of that stays. The club members don't get paid or anything like that. It's all reinvested into making Brick beautiful. So the tickets are on sale at Added Touch Florist, Flower Bar, Tiny Greenhouse in Brick, Purple Iris Flower Shop in Point, Shore River Gardens in Manasquan, and Dulette's Nursery and Farm Market in Lakewood. And again, that's July 11th at 10 a.m. The tour is self-guided, and then refreshments, plant sale, gift raffle, and vendors at the Cultural Arts Center. So with regard to the law enforcement assisted diversion program, I just want to make it clear that this is not a grant that Brick applied for. Brick was selected based on criteria by the New Jersey Office of the Attorney General, and they are very hands-on with this grant program. The people involved in it, as I mentioned, are the prosecutor's office, Brick Police, Bright Harbor Healthcare, Hope Sheds Light, the Health Department, the County Human Services Department, the Community Law Health Project, Preferred Behavioral Health, RWJ Barnabas Health, and Hackensack Meridian Health. It's a pilot program. We are under no obligation to continue it beyond the duration of the pilot program, and certainly if it's not successful in helping residents in town, then we certainly won't continue it. But I just want to be clear that this is not something that we sought. We were selected for it. There's only 4 other communities in the entire state that are getting these resources, and we're actually very fortunate to be able to have these resources. That when there's an interaction with law enforcement and people need help, they can get help. Putting them in the criminal justice system doesn't help them. This will help allow people to access housing, to access health care, to access mental health services. I have to tell you, every year, we as council are invited to attend the PVA award ceremony, and we get to listen to the kinds of calls that our law enforcement officers answered each year. And it was, and challenge me, my council colleagues, almost 100% of what we heard was all mental health related. People are suffering now more than ever as a result of the pandemic. And when we have resources at our disposal, when we are offered a gift from the Attorney General's office and the support of those other organizations, to not bring those resources here into Brick to serve our residents would be doing everyone a disservice. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zapsik stole my thunder because I was going to talk about the Garden Club. And I just want to say everybody have a very happy and safe 4th of July, and I will see everybody on July 6th at Summerfest for Super Trans Am. May I have